So what we're looking at right now is a new type of, well, I don't know if it's a new type of equipment, but a type of equipment that came out here at Fresno State on Monday. And if we were in class, we would have went out there to actually watch this. But this is a type of shredding unit that shreds, your vineyard. I did talk to the manager. He said they can do some small orchards like almonds, but they need a bigger unit. But this unit is set up pretty good to be able to take out vines. And if you notice, one thing about this is there's no dust right now, and part of that is because the soil is pretty wet since it rained on Monday. So he backs down the row, takes out some vines with the shredder, and then he sinks his implement into the ground so that it starts to shred up the roots and stuff. And if you look here, it does a real good job of covering up, the trash or the branches and things, and puts it into the ground. So it's a kind of shredding it two ways. Pretty interesting unit as far as what it's doing, because in the old way they used to have to rip those vines and then pull them out of the ground and then pile them, and then they'd have to burn them. And so when we look at this, he's going at about 0.8 miles per hour. So it's not a very fast method, but it is a very efficient one in a sense that, we need one operator and tractor to go through and do some of the things that used to take a lot of labor and used to be very intensive and bad on the environment. This is one way to really kind of, help with the environment. And then also we're putting in new organic matter to an extent into the ground. Downside to it is that the chunks of wood that are in there are pretty good size, even going through the shredder. And it takes a long time for soil to break down wood. But, it cleans that field pretty well, and really kind of makes, vineyard removal a lot easier. So if we look here, a little slow-mo that I took of the tractor going through, and I know it's a little hard to see underneath that roller what's actually happening, but it's a drum of all these teeth that are just grabbing the wood from the vine and just shredding it into as small pieces as possible. You notice the drum is used to knock down the vine, and as it's knocking down the vine, it's being pulled into the drum that's powered by the PTO of the tractor, and allowing it to really rip that wood apart so that it can be covered up with soil. So after he backs down the vine, he starts driving forward in that same row, same direction. And it goes through all of the wood and stuff that got originally put into the soil, gets shredded up again. The one thing about this tractor is it's an 8345. It's a 345 horsepower tractor, so there's a lot of horsepower. And so they need that type of horsepower to be able to run that unit off the back of it. This tractor probably cost around $450,000. So there's a lot of money that goes into this equipment to be able to do this. So between the tractor and that implement's pretty expensive too. My estimate would probably be around $70,000-$80,000, if not more, for that shredding unit. And you can see the amount of wood that is still remaining as it